It's time to get up. Nah. For real. Actual King Smith. Let's go. Wake up. What you sleeping on your life for? Wake up. Every day's a chance for more. Wake up. Hands up. Let the beat thump. Wake up. Hey, wake up. Alarm clock ringing, but your mind still tired. Dreams on snooze, yeah, goals on fire. Everybody talk, but few take steps. Same old excuses, different regrets. I ain't here preaching, I'm here reminded. Pressure make diamonds, timing divine. You got breath in your body, fire in your chest. So why you living like you set up for less? Get up off that couch, move your feet. New mindset every time we meet. No doom scrolling, no fear feed. This the real talk over funky beats. Wake up. What you sleeping on your life for? Wake up. Every day is a chance for more. Wake up. Hands up, let the beat thump. Wake up. Hey, go. No cake, no crown, still king energy. Talk my truth, that's my identity. Life get heavy, yeah, I've been stressed. Still showed up, put hard in the test. If they doubt you, good, prove them wrong. Same doubt, fuel, make you go strong. Ain't waiting no luck, I hustle with faith. Mind on progress, foot on the gas and say what? Say now, say move, say how, say what? Get in the bed, shut up and get up and wake up. It's a moment, don't waste none. Wake up. Sun still rise, so you ain't done. Wake up. Beat knocking, let your soul jump. Wake up. Hey, wake up. Yeah. This ain't motivation. This is a reminder. Wake up.
Yeah, what's up? What's good? What's happening? Welcome to my live stream. I am the actual King Smith, and this is Wake Up with the actual King Smith. It is Tuesday, January 27th. We are closing in on the first month of 2026. And man, what an interesting month it has been so far. I think this year is going to be an interesting year in recent months if the first 27 days are an indication of how crazy things are going to be. Hope y'all are warm. Hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you are at. I see Will Buchanan has just left the gym, getting ready for BlurredCon. Hey man, you got to go into the gym and get your get right. But I appreciate you tuning in. We got irrelevant IRLs in the building with the frog emoji over on Kick. Appreciate you tuning in. And Larry QED said, "Oh man, I love to take part in this, but will be at work during that time. I hope you have an epic stream though with the arm flex emoji, the 100% and the salute." Hey Larry, I appreciate you tuning in, at least just for that comment for the first minute of the stream. Yesterday's stream was interesting as I talked about Alex Pretty and what happened in Minnesota, and people pulled up. I don't know if it was because of the topic or if it was because it was a Monday and people were snowed in and they just so happened to see me go live, but folks pulled up for that. And I thought that was interesting, right? Alex Pretty was the VA ICU nurse that got shot and killed while let me make sure I say this right, because if you ask 10 different people what they saw, they're going to tell you 10 different things. But Alex Pretty got shot while assisting someone that was a part of the ICE protests in Minnesota. I'll say it like that. Now, let me see if my soundboard is working. Y'all let me know if y'all heard that. All right. So today, I was thinking about something last night, right? And it made me think about what people are doing here in America. Everybody has these ideas of what they would do to make this country great again, right? But I'm not sure if people's ideas are enough. So I'm curious what y'all think. Like, I'm not here to sell you a party. I'm not here to sell you a slogan. I'm not wearing a fancy hat or anything that's got some logos on it. But I'm here to ask a question that I think sounds simple, but it's one of the hardest questions that we can ask right now. How would you make America great? Because we hear that word great all the time. It's been shouted, printed, argued, defended, and even mocked. And if you're somebody that wears that on a t-shirt or a hat, it automatically labels you one way. It automatically aligns you to a certain party. Now, anytime that question's been asked, some of the questions that come up are make it great for who? And what standard are we using this by? And who's paying for it? That's not something that you often hear. If you're wanting to have all of these grand ideas, there's a cost associated with anything that you do. So who's paying for it? By my account, America isn't just one experience. It's the same America if you're a veteran. It's the same America if you're a single parent. It's the same America. Actually, no, let me take that back. It's not the same America if you're a veteran. Things are different for you. I can say that as a veteran. It's not the same America if you're a single parent. As I was saying that, I'm like, actually, no, it's not. It's not the same America, too, really, if you own a business or if you're living paycheck to paycheck. I think some people see what's going on here and they feel like this country's different. Often, I'm hearing people say that this country's going to hell. And some people feel like we're just arguing too much and we're divided about everything. So I'm not going to have any headlines during today's live stream. I'm looking for ideas. I'm looking for tangible things that you think can actually make America great again. Is it about making your neighborhood safe, affording groceries, ensuring that your kids are prepped for tomorrow's world, giving the next generation a better US than what we have now? If you were making the laws, if you were the top legislator, if you were in charge, you had the pen, and you couldn't blame anybody else, how would you make America great again? And my soundboard's still not working. Come on, man. I appreciate you, Will Buchanan, for letting me know. Thank you. Now, often one of the things that we hear is we'll hear people say that they'll make America great again with their wallet, right? The wallet approach, economic fixes. And if we're being honest, most people don't vote with their ideology first. They vote by either who's popular, the name that they hear, and I'll say people vote with their bank account. When you see gas jump 25 cents, or groceries out here costing $100 for 2 bags of groceries, or rent eating up half your damn paycheck, that kind of sets the national mood right there. And to me, you could talk values all day. But if people are financially stressed, they don't feel like the country is great. They feel trapped. I saw something, and I'm going to see if I can bring this up here real quick. I shared something on my Facebook page, and I'm going to bring it up. You can go follow me, King Smith on Facebook, or The Actual King Smith. I've got 2 channels. Is this an example of America being great right here? I'm going to share my screen. Share screen. Are we actually paying these kind of prices for a Super Bowl ticket? What I'm showing on the screen, if you're listening and you're driving, but you tuned in right now, $6,000 for some upper level seats for the Super Bowl that's being played in California in 2 weeks on February the 8th. 18,000 for 3-level seats. 30,000 for what they're billing as VIP tickets for the Super Bowl. You can see as high as 51,000. Now these are resale tickets, right? People didn't pay that price for it, but they're buying these tickets and then they're putting them on the resale market. But people are paying for them. There's rich people out there. There are folks that can afford this. How are they voting? Is America great already for them because they're able to afford those tickets? In the 1950s and 1960s, several years ago, several decades ago, one income could support a family, a home, and a car. Today, 2 household incomes sometimes aren't enough. And that's, you can say, well, you should be living between your means all day. And I don't disagree with that. It still shouldn't take 2 incomes to make one household stay afloat. Manufacturing jobs and in manufacturing towns have become hollowed after some of those jobs have moved overseas. And we've seen the efforts in trying to bring that back and what that can do. But they're not doing it fast enough. And inflation, when you really understand inflation, and then you look into how inflation has outpaced wage growth for years, you really have to scratch your head about what we're working for. So if you could fix the economy with one move, what would you choose? How would you do it? Would you lower taxes? Would you increase taxes to afford some of the grand ideas that you have? Would you move more manufacturing jobs back to the US? Would you find a way to make housing more affordable so people aren't spending 50% of their income on a mortgage or rent? Let me see if we got any comments in here before I move to the next thing. The goddamn bacon is in the building. Said that I'm not saying it would make the country great again, but if we took all the corn we're putting in our processed food and gas and put it in whiskey, that would be a great start. Shout out to the goddamn bacon, man. It's been a minute since I've seen any of your streams. I don't know if you still go live, bro. I might need to check to see if the algorithms got me still subscribed to your channel. I'll do that. Let me take a picture. I'm gonna do that to make sure that I don't forget. All right. I just took a photo. So I'm like, man, I don't think I've seen any of your videos here lately. Joey M. Sanchez said that the system is rigged, bro. Wake up. So, Joey, this is my chance. This is your chance. I mean, how do we fix the system? What suggestions do you have for fixing the system? That's what I'm asking people out here today. One of the other ways that I hear about fixing the system is doing the education reset, right? And saying that the future isn't theoretical, it's sitting in a desk right now. We argue constantly about what's taught, but we ignore what people actually do when they graduate. Right now, think about this. We're producing more college kids that are drowning in debt. And over the last 3 presidential elections, the college debt and college education has been one of the things that our elected officials have ran on. skilled trade are desperate for workers, and we've seen this recently. When it comes to the Snowmageddon that's came in, looking at finding businesses or people that could come out and make sure that the roads are safe. We got kids out here that know all the latest words to lyrics to a song, and they know how to scroll TikTok and everything, but they don't know how to build, budget, or fix anything. Change a tire for that matter. I was doing some research yesterday when I was looking at this. Germany has an apprenticeship system that feeds into the industry directly. And it's a 70-30 split about how they afford it. The industry themselves cover 70% of the cost of the training, and their government covers the rest of the 30%. And they're getting these people into plumbing, pipe fitting, industry jobs like that. And we've got somebody from Germany that watches our show live. He'll be able to verify this. Students in the US are lagging globally in math and reading on a global scale. I was just in Japan this past summer, and you're watching the kids get to and from school and they're treating school like it's a job. How do people look at school here in the US? You see more schools cutting classes like shop class, while you got plumbers and electricians out here that are earning six figures. Why are we not promoting that on a bigger scale? Because some districts are, some people are. Kids out here graduating without knowing how taxes, credit, and mortgages work. So my question for y'all, are we failing the next generation by not working education? Is that how we make America great again? If you ran on education, would you bring back trade schools and home economics? Or would you double down on the future and push towards tech and coding? How do we make our kids the smartest, most capable people in the world? It's Darian said, "Good morning, King," and the actual faction. Man, it's Darian be coming up with the community quotes. I like this. He gave me my Zep date that I use on Thursdays, and the actual faction. I like that. I'm using that. Hold on. Let me take a picture of that too. I got two things that I'm taking pictures of. The Make America Great statement is a misnomer. Who are we making it great for? How is greatness defined? Is there any commonality? These are the questions that I asked at the beginning, is Darian, and I'm thankful that you brought that up as well. See, he came on and he brought that up without even hearing what I covered at the beginning part. I asked the same things. And it's great questions to bring up. Will Buchanan earlier said, cancel all student loans. That's how I'll do it. To what end, though? And we got Abby Sania in the building said, Trumpido, Trumpido, Trumpido. Good morning. One of the other common things that we'll hear is community versus government. Now, here's what I think is an uncomfortable truth. No federal law can fix a broken block. Some of the safest, strongest communities in America aren't wealthy communities, although they might look it. I think that they're just a lot more connected. When you have neighborhoods where everybody knows each other, people intervene early. Folks actually care. They show up for the local government things. They show up for the homeowners association meetings, right? Is the answer to what you would say, well, let's get the community stronger. Is that how you would make America great again? I think too many people have outsourced responsibility upwards and wonder why nothing feels personal anymore. Because the people that are above you don't know you. Imagine, right, a lot of the federal workers and federal employees, how much respect you can give back and forth when you know somebody that's doing that job or that's doing that position. I got pulled over one time by somebody who I know. And this person had a job to do. And I respected them for that. And they didn't treat me any different because they knew who I was. Did I break a law? Yes, I was speeding. I was speeding when I got pulled over by somebody who I know. And when he approached me, he said, "Come on, King." I said, "Yeah, you got me." I ended up getting a ticket and a fine that I had to pay for. I didn't expect any special treatment for that. Although I think he was going to let me off. And I talked myself into a ticket because I didn't want any special treatment. But that's what community can do. Right? Like in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Do you think you're pulling your guns out on somebody that you know, and you know that they're in their right mind, right? So there's a difference if people are outside of their right mind. Some people would argue that it starts with community. Cities where local mentorship reduces more crime than policing alone. Disaster responses where neighbors act faster than the bureaucracy and the red tape. So my question for y'all, if you're going to say that using community is what's going to help make America great, does making America great start at the White House or at your house? Do we need the government to fix our cities? Or do we need to fix our own neighborhoods first? Midterms are coming up this year. This is when all of the chaos occurs. When you look at the local elections and things, are you using your voice in your own neighborhood to make things better? Let me see if we got a couple of comments here before I continue. Abby Sania said, both Republican and Democrats are the same coin, different sides. Say more. LD Smith is in the building. That's my pop said, their greed is just one of the problems. It's Darian said, I think that having more skilled and vocational trades opportunities would be beneficial. Community colleges in my area are no longer offering vocational classes. Indeed. And as Darian said, outsourced upward. That's pretty profound. Yeah, I mean, sometimes my English language is all right, and other times I can't say 2 syllables. Abyssinia said affordable health care and free education will help make America great. To that comment, Abby, who's paying for that? How would you get affordable health care, and free education for people? It's Darian said, in my opinion, local government matters more to my day-to-day life than what's happening in DC. I need to engage with my locally elected officials and keep their foot to the fire. I wish my soundboard was working because I would give you a hand clap emoji on that one. That's where I would start. As I'm listing these things out, I would start with local government. Pacific Northwest 3111 said, siding with one party is crazy. Idolizing politicians is sad. And I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. And Corporal 1138 said, America is going down soon, but that's why I've got this stream. How do we turn things around? What are your suggestions for turning things around? Pacific Northwest said, vote all the corporate Democrats, to which Ryan Bean said, Pacifics, you're an idiot. Hey, there's a back and forth in the chat. So what makes you think? All right. And as Darian said, aren't we already paying for it? How many state schools are funded by our tax dollars? Yes. Okay. I'm going to stay here for a second. I don't know a lot about this. But sometimes I'll listen to these different budget meetings and things like that. We are paying for free school at the public education level. When it comes past that, right? So earlier I talked about vocational trades and things, and even higher level education. Some people argue that that should be free as well, to which I go, how do you pay for that? I don't see anything wrong with public school education. I think that private schools get a bigger and a better leg up, but not for reason of like education and accessibility. If you have the internet, you have the same kind of level of access. There are differences and there are nuances, and I don't have time to get in what those differences are. However, the only difference that I see that matters between public education and private education is there's less distractions. And if you're somebody that can afford private education, you're also somebody that's likely connected as well. So your connections allow you to have a better life. The goddamn Bacon said, if we as a people can't take care of ourselves, how do we expect the government to do more of the same? Agreed. And as Darren said, remember how there was an administration attack on the federally funded schools, like the public colleges versus the private colleges? I don't know a lot about that. I can't comment on that, it's Darian, because I don't know a lot about that. One of the other things that people talk about is modernization and infrastructure. This is one of the common things that you'll hear people bring up, right? People don't think about infrastructure until it fails. We had the bridge here in Maryland that collapsed about a year or two ago. When you have snowstorms and your power goes out. Other countries, it looks like bills for the future. When I was just in Japan, I always like to talk about Japan because Japan does a lot of things good. If I could live there, I would. Using public transportation in Japan was easy. Crowded on some days, like it can be here in the DC area, but it was easy. It was quick. Getting from one place to another didn't cost you a lot, didn't take you all day. Japan's bullet trains run like this. I think I did see something in the news about how there was some type of an accident or some power issue, and it did cause a massive delay, but that's rare. Whereas here in the US, you'll see rail delays all day. You go into rural areas, you don't have internet or cell phone coverage. Cities that are more built for cars, not people. If you had an unlimited budget, what physical things would you do to make America the envy of the world? Would you have better highways? Make the transition to more smart cities? Would you say bump the US and get us to Mars, M-A-R-S, Mars? Or we just do, so you say, you know what? I wouldn't worry about infrastructure, King. We don't need to modernize. Look at some of the cities that are modern versus those that seem like they're still in the 1950s. Where I'm from Anniston, Alabama, where I was born and raised, if you will. Anniston, Alabama looks like it's still in the 1950s. And that could be by design. Maybe they want that city or that area to feel historic because it's got some historical value to it. But historic doesn't bring jobs. Historic doesn't bring jobs. I'm going to ask this question before I go to my 9 to 5 here. If you had one law, one thing that you could do, no committees, no delays, no excuses. You were the president. You were king. You had one thing that you could do to enact something. What would you do? We've already had some ideas here in the chat. Would you impose term limits for politicians? Would you ban corporate lobbying? Universal health care for all. One of the ones that I hear as a veteran that I bang with, national service, whether you're military or civilian. Sometimes people forget the fact that national service isn't necessarily all military. You could be a civilian as well, but it make it mandatory. And that civilian position, if it was national service, is deployable, so that you understand what it means to serve your country. And the people that are living to the left and to the right of you. If you had the ability to change one law and make it in effect just like that, would you simplify taxes? Something that I've just started doing here this past week as I've gotten my W-2 and 1099s and everything that's coming in. I can't stand tax season, but I'm doing my part. It is what it is. If you had the magic pen and one law that could go into effect tomorrow, no debate, no delays, what law do you think instantly makes the country better? There's a question, how much do you spend on defense? We spend way too much. It's Darius said, why can't you live in Japan? Their visa process is different. Their visa process is a little bit different that I'm not prepped for right now. Who knows? Maybe one day I will be. It's Darius said, random, how do you think that Governor Moore is handling things? I like what he's doing. I've seen some of the impact of some of the programs that he's been a part of. When I zoom out, I mean, you have people, but it's like it is with politics. You have people that don't think that he's spending Maryland's budget properly. And I don't think I've seen anything that is contrary to that. My observation of what he's doing is I think that Governor Moore is doing great for Maryland right now. Arpain said that he would do the high-speed rails. The goddamn Bacon said, it's Darian, it's a question most people don't think to ask. Let's see. Regarding, do we know how to take care of ourselves? Agreed. Eddie said that we're spending too much on defense and too much welfare. I don't disagree with that. And that affects a lot of people, to include me. Pharmacy benefit manager reform. They are creating so many hurdles for people living with chronic illness. Healthcare, in its Darium's opinion, is a human right. Eddie spoke to his one law, and he said that he'd ban shoring, as there's I'd ban offshoring so much manufacturing. Make sure I read that right. Arpain said repeal Citizens United would be his one law. My pops said that I would house all the homeless. It's cold out there. Pops, like the idea. How would you implement that? Who's then, if you house all the unhomeless, who's then taking care of what's the setup to take care of everything that goes with that? You house them. Are you feeding them? Does it start with just housing? Or is there like a all-encompassing wellness program that goes into that? Got a couple of more that I can read here, and then I've got to go get to my 9 to 5. The goddamn bacon said, I answered and explained this question a long time ago. Make dealing with the IRS voluntary. No matter what problem you have with politics, it's paid for by resources you don't have a choice in. If you do that, the goddamn bacon, like this is just me thinking off the top of my head. If you were to do that, make dealing with the IRS voluntary. A lot of our national programs, right, they go off of the money that they get from the people. It would be difficult for you to create a national budget if you make something voluntary. You don't know how much income you have coming in to be able to plan properly for the future. You'd have to cut so many different things because it would be hard to estimate, right? Like I budget based off of the money that I know I have coming in because I trade time for money. And I'm able to forecast my budget and buy things because I know what I have coming in. So if you make it voluntary, how do you solve for that? And that's not a question that you have to put now because I do have to go. But maybe when this stream ends, if you have an idea for that, please put it down in the comment section. Is Darium asked a question, do you think the shenanigans of the U.S. is tarnishing our reputation around the world and making our countries more leery of our presence? 100%. When I was in Japan, I had the opportunity to engage with people, right? And when Japanese or I spoke to somebody that was from Nigeria, dope individual. They find out that you're from America. They don't talk about it as, oh man, like it's this great country, how I think people used to when I was younger. It's kind of like, ooh, how are things going over there, right? And I wish my soundboard was working, then y'all would have heard that buzzer. So yeah, I think people look at what's going on and they think about the United States as chaotic. And really, when you zoom out, it is chaotic, but it's not as bad as you think, right? Like we're aware of what's going on in Minnesota. I think in Chicago just yesterday, there was another dealing with federal agents in which a lady hit the side of either Customs Border Patrol or like ICE agents. And to me, it looked like it was an accident. And I wish I had this video prep that I could show it here. It looked like it was an accident. There was some protests. There was a federal car that looked like it was trying to turn around, and a lady who was in work clothes that looked like she was just trying to get to work. The cars ran into each other. Again, it looked like an accident. Didn't look like it was on purpose. But the agents hopped out, guns drawn, and yanked this lady out of her car for something that I think that they did was wrong. I'm only aware of that because of people that had their cell phones and they filmed it. And when you look at things like that and you hear people say that the Gustapos out there, does it make you leery? They can make anybody leery. And the goddamn Bacon said that raises a bigger question for another time. You know what, man? Can I write that down? Because a lot of people talk about the IRS, and I'm like, okay, what solutions do we have? All right, that is my time. I appreciate y'all for tuning in this early Tuesday morning. Hope y'all have a great rest of your day. Stay warm out there. I'm gonna go finish my orange juice that's in this cup, go take my vitamins and stretch, and go out here and work for our nation. Y'all have a good one. Salute. Peace.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Trumpets blare the golden call. A throne awaits, I rise so tall. Drums like thunder, shake the hall. Royal robe, I wear the weight. Diamonds cut the night, no debate. Heavy is the head, but I'm feeling great. Crown me king, crown me king. Horns will shout, let the kingdom sing. Crown me king, crown me king. Bow to the sound, feel the power I bring. Bring